there. Today is June 29th, 2018, Friday. Welcome to the market update. Again, my name is KQ with the Traders Club. Hope you guys had a good week. Trading this week. Today is going to be the last day of June of trading as we continue with our summer trading days here. We have July 4th going on next week. I do have an announcement. To next week, I'm going to be out of the town, and so there will be no market update next week. Market will be obviously closed on Wednesday, July 4th. It will be half day on the 3rd, Tuesday, and resume Thursday and Friday regular schedule of the market schedule. But there will be no market update on Friday, which is July 6th. And we'll resume with the market update video on the 13th of July. So keep that in mind. Today, I'm going to be using different charting software here. My charting software that I normally use and the normally that you're accustomed to is malfunctioning. It seems like something to do with the internet connection and the e-signal software. This is a first time that they having this problem where their software just completely won't open, and it won't have any pricings on these some of the indices and nothing. I can't see nothing there on the software. So, and it has never happened. I've been with them for years, and I do get a lot of people ask me all the time what kind of charting software I use. I use e-signal. And it's just not opening. And again, like I said, it never happened before in this magnitude, where it just completely won't show anything. So I'm not mad. It's been years, and hopefully they can fix this so that I can able to, let me check I can able to look at things next week. Somebody mentioned to me that if I was day trading that I'd be freaking out. It is actually true. Since I am not day trading, it's not like one day of not looking at the market is not gonna do anything. And there, throughout the week, I do practice where I won't look at the market whole day because I'm a long-term trader. I call myself a position trader and an active investor. Position trading meaning I hold things 6 months a year on my long-term options, and I hold shares. I call myself active investor because I'm not just buy and hold passively, let's forget about it type of investor. I'll buy and I'll hold for a couple years to several years, but I'll actively manage it, right? So one day is not a whole lot for me. Today I'm thinking of, it's kind of weird. I don't have my watch list or nothing, so I really don't have any plan which one I'm going to be looking at, but I'll be looking at Spider, our usuals. Let's do Spider, IWM, Qs, XLF. If we have time, we can look at Apple, AMD, Twitter, Intel, and some of these names that I usually talk about, and we'll go from there. Apple Spider here, you can see that I got actually RSI indicator at the bottom, and this right there is 100 SMA, this moving average that you see. I've been tweeting out about that yesterday. This is the current battleground. This 100 SMA is actually setting at low, so if you want to put that, you can see right here actually, see that it says low on it. So setting at low to accommodate this price action, and then you can see that act as support there. We came back, and I know exactly what's going to happen right now. The market, there's a reason why market pulled back this much, because now this is where many traders are. Traders you probably follow on stock twits and Twitter, or like any quote-unquote experts or gurus that you follow or you hear from. They are going to say something like, this is no man's land. The reason why they say that is because they're going to say that the uptrend has been broken. What they don't understand is that's what the market does. If you've been following me long enough, you know by now shenanigan happens. Market is never going to make things pretty. That's the thing that you guys have to understand, that, you know, when you roam around Twitter and stock tweets, they always give you this so perfect, pretty setups, or these perfect, like, oh, bull pennant pattern. Oh, did you see that? Oh, look at my members watch list. It just broke out perfectly. It is so pretty. Well, they failed to mention last 10 times they tried that, and it failed horribly. The market knows what most people are looking at, right? You'll never, if the prettier the setup is, the less likely it is going to play out. This is a reason why, just because you see a pretty chart, that it's going to play out. Because the prettier it is, the more people are going to be attracted to it, and market knows that, and market is going to disrupt that, right? So this pullback, I think, was necessary for the market. This is the reason why I didn't just say that we're gonna bounce here because that's a support. I said that what are we gonna be? Are we gonna bounce from here, or are we gonna see a shenanigan? Sometimes market does give you picture perfect levels holding, where you will see market goes up, comes down, goes up, comes down, and continues to respect that trend. Sooner or later it's gonna break, or sometimes it will break below it, shake some people out, right? And the main reason is a lot of times people are not in a buying mood when the market is down, you know? People are usually in a buying mood when market is up. Do you know why? Let me demonstrate. Let me prove it to you why that's the human nature. The reason why is that because since you've been living your life, I don't know, 20 years, 30 years, 50 years, 60 years, you've learned, you've been conditioned to spend. You go out shop when you have a surplus in your account, right? When you get your pay, when you just get your paycheck, when you get your bonuses, you're in a buying mood. You go out, eat sushi, you get some bottles of wine when you have some surplus. When things are difficult, when things are tight, what do? You save. You don't buy anything. That's the reason why most people are buying when market is up, because you're in a buying mood. And they sell when the market is down, right? But you should be doing completely opposite. So you must have to go against your human nature to be successful in this market. This is the reason why, one of the main reasons why most people, 90% fails in the market. 90% retail traders fail because you have to go against human nature. When was the last time you heard something like this from anybody you follow? Because they don't know what's going on. So they can't teach you anything. Anyway, so let's get back into the charts here. A little bit of psychology there, but I want to get back into the chart here. So we've been talking about, if I kind of follow with what I've been talking about in the last week's update, market update video last Friday, we talked about how these two gaps were there, and I talked about how I want to see at least one gap to be open, right? At least one. Well, both gaps are filled. So this gap got filled. This gap got filled. Bears still have the gaps from these levels, right? There's a gap here, and also there's a gap here. There's a lot of bears gaps, and these gaps are going to make things hectic. Every time the gap is open, things are going to be hectic for the opposing party. So this is a bearish gaps that are open. So it's been hectic. It's been hectic. You see that this bull's trying to fill it, failed. Bulls trying to fill it again here, failed, and then more gaps are open. And then these bullish gaps that are open here, they're both filled. Good news is that though today, bulls trying to open another gap here. Let's put the line through it like that. So we know that there's a gap there. So this gap is currently open, and that's a good sign that at least we got one gap open, because bulls do not have any gaps open currently except this one. They opened this one, got filled here, opened this one, got filled a few days ago. But today, bulls open another gap. We see if the buyers want to find some footing on Spider here, they gotta keep this gap open. You gotta go up and fill this gap. That's will be the next task. But once that gap gets filled, we're probably gonna see a downturn, some kind of a resistance there. Every time when the gap gets filled, or the gap area always act as resistance. The best bet for the buyers to really bring this thing or jumpstart this thing would be then make it this into an island, right? We've got this gap open. This is the reason why we're pulling back a little bit. You can see today, even with that gap up, bulls trying to get up here, met with that gap area, we're pulling back a little bit. If we can gap this up on Monday or Tuesday and make it into an island, that will be a best possible scenario and make this into an island. So I'll keep an eye on it and let you guys know. I'll do some, maybe tweet out some charts on Monday or Tuesday if I have time. If we do see something like that, if not, we want to fill this gap as soon as possible, but those gaps are going to make things hectic for the buyers. We do have this cultivation of higher lows here. We did throw this kind of a bigger term uptrend support there. A lot of times when you got this kind of a minor term support that's broken, and then it'll come down to the next support. So that's what you call fan line. That's the first fan line, second fan line. But really though, we're still, looking at things more of a bigger picture, we're still in a consolidational phase. We're still basing out. Basing, consolidation, resting, digesting. These are all bullish continuation pattern. Looking at things a primary time, obviously, right? So you can see that market got up, had a huge move, corrected 11%, and basing out, right? Basing out. Basing period is always a good period. There's different types of bases. There are different types of consolidation. There are different types of digestion. You can say that, this was a digestion. It got up. Instead of moving sideways, this kind of pulled back, right? This was also digestion. You can look at that as maybe a bull flag and then continued higher. We saw another digestion where in the summertime of July, this was a rising channel. That also was digestion, right? Because we saw that big move. We digested. We didn't see a lot of footing. It just went up and down, up and down, up and down. You can see that forming a rising channel. That's a different type of consolidation or digestion, right? Because the market is not going to go straight up, right? This was more of a flagging. This is more like a channel. And then we did actually go straight up. This time around, we're digesting sideways move. But do you know what I like about this move the most? It is happening after a correction. I'll be actually worried if this is happening at the top like this instead of after a correction. That's a huge difference. When the market goes up and we start to consolidate at the top, that consolidation actually could become a topping pattern. That's why it is actually difficult. It's much more, it's actually more negative when you see a consolidation and if it happens before this correction move. What I mean is, let's say if this thing got up and then we pull back a little bit and then we start to maybe consolidate sideways. That's when it comes 50-50. It could very well move sideways like this, continue higher, but it could also very well be a topping pattern and pull and correct. But when it actually pulls back and then builds a base, obviously nothing is guaranteed in the market, but it has a higher probability of becoming a base before going higher. It has a higher probability. It is a probabilistic, not a certainty, but it has a higher probability of playing out to the upside, right? So, so this is why I think, in due time, we're going to come out of this, and the first target will be about 300 or so, and 310 or higher. And if you also do a fib here, you can probably see that this is a 50% retracement, right? So that's a 50% retracement coinciding with what? That 100 SMA at low and then the new higher lows here that we have cultivated. At the same time, if you look at my RSI at the bottom here, we are near the oversold center. This is daily chart, right? So we have some kind of we're at oversold vicinity, but you can see that even the RSI gets a little bit slightly higher and higher, right? It doesn't go all the way down. You can kind of see that that's the extreme oversold, and then slightly higher than previous oversold level, and this one's also slightly higher. What does that mean? It means every time it pulls back, right? Every time it pulls back, that selling momentum is not as greater than the previous selling momentum, meaning there are dip buyers. There are people starting to accumulate. People are holding onto their shares and they're accumulating, right? This is what you call smart money. Smart money always get into it before the move. That's why they are smart. They get into it before the move, and then you get the institutions backing up with a big move. And then public participation is usually late. They're probably not going to get back into it until we make new all-time high and beyond. Because they're going to say, well, I'm not going to go long at least until I see making new highs. They're going to say something like, well, this is still very vulnerable. We could still, move sideways a little bit and start tanking. So public is not going to get into it until we hit 280, 290, and then when CNBC, Yahoo Finance, everybody starts saying buy everything, that's when they're gonna start coming, and then that's when things gonna start to get hectic, because the market is going to punish those chasers. So let's go to Russell 2000 here. Russell 2000, obviously, we are finding support right here. So prior resistance and new support. I also think that you can see that we got that uptrend support in that vicinity. If you do your fib here to here, this is a first level. I think 38.2% retracement in that vicinity. 50% will be here. I think this is a good level for Russell to find bounce, I think, in my opinion. Otherwise, if the market thinks that too many people are jumping in here, it might even come down a little lower, kind of shake some people out because everybody's looking at this support, and then get up, and in that process kind of retest the prior resistance as a new support, and retesting that 50% retracement which is on that vicinity. Maybe the 100 estimate come and meet it, I'm not sure. So the best strategy for something like Russell 2000 is not to chase it when it's going up. It's best to maybe buy this dip when it pulls back to first level of fib. You can always maybe a little bit, and then it comes down a little lower, and then maybe adding onto it. I think that might be the best strategy. Trying to pinpoint perfect entry is going to get you, because now if we do see continuation through, then you're gonna miss it, right? So sometimes you always want to kind of be aware of all possible scenario, but at the same time, well, we may very well find support. Like I said, not always we're going to see shenanigans. Sometimes things do work out well. Sometimes these levels are going to be respected. Sometimes they won't. So if you're anxious about getting long, let's say you wanted to go long here, you're too scared, but then you didn't want to fight, you didn't want to chase this, but you're like, hey, on this pullback, I want to get in, but maybe we'll get into 50, we maybe get into 159 or somewhere here. Best way is maybe buy it a little bit. That's what I would do. And then if it does fall back a little bit, buy a little bit more, right? And then you position yourself in that vicinity. That's what position trading is. You're positioning yourself, building your position. You've seen my Dow Jones or Diamond calls journal, how I've been positioning myself in that vicinity right here. Let's go to it. You can see I've been positioning myself in this vicinity here, right? I'm positioning myself buying the dips so that when it moves, I can ride it. But something that I will never do is chasing it at the top. But what I actually did was, when I bought these dips here on the Russell 2000, I've been closing out a little bit, right? And then as it starts to pull back, what I will do is I'll be looking to add. So like I said in the earlier of this video, that completely opposite. You want to go against your human nature. It is difficult to, you know, buying the dip is not that easy. Especially you're holding many positions like I do, because once you open up an account, when things are going down, you're seeing red. You're seeing red on your account, and you feel your whole, you know, body, your whole like mentality is, well, this is not the time to buy. This is time to save. Because why? That's how you've been trained living this life. But when it comes to market, you have to go against that nature. That's why it is so much easier. People are in a buying mood when things are going up, and then they get slaughtered later for chasing. But a lot of newbies do this, and a lot of times they even know they shouldn't do it, but they still do it anyway, right? I'm sure a lot of you been victim of that. Let's go to Qs. Qs actually, yeah, so we got this first level, you know, we got this level there. We're finding support at this level here. Prior resistance as new support. I won't be surprised to see this thing coming down to maybe 164. That's the level I might be thinking of adding. I'm still holding full position that I went long somewhere here, right? So I think obviously Q is still in a bullish uptrend. You can even see that it stopped short on the RSI. It didn't come all the way down. It stopped showing the middle, and that's actually a good thing here. If this thing can get up, but we do have we had that bullish piercing candle yesterday, right? That pierced through previous day's candle, 50% of previous day's candle. We got bullish piercing. We got the gap up, but it won't be confirmed until we gap back above it. So we need to see something like that, right? Something like that, or we just gap it up, make this into an island. I think then that could be a jump start. So we'll see how it plays out. We'll go from there. Let's go to banks here. Banks, we are that support there. What are these doing here? It must be from way before. So let me throw this right there. So you can see that that's an important pivot. That definitely, you can see that prior resistance and then prior support. Well, all hell's gonna break loose if we break below this level, right? I mean, this is a level where it's going to really make a lot of people very, very uncomfortable. I mean, this is where you're gonna start to see articles on the banks, where the banks are going to crack, or the banks are going to crash, or the banks gonna bring. You know, this happens all the time, but the market is so savvy, and there's a reason why market did this. Do you know why? I know why. Because last time, right? Do you know the same headlines I heard last time? Do you know this? Do you know, not only that, these gurus and experts on Twitter, they said they are expecting banks to come to 20s and 19s. You know what else they said? They said there's a lot of air pockets here. I remember exactly what they're saying. There's a lot of air pockets. There's not enough support. This thing looks like, look at this head and shoulder formation, right? Looks like this thing is ready to dive. And then that's what happens. Most people are expecting the crash, expecting this head and shoulder play out. It does completely opposite. Guess what I was doing back here? I was buying these dips. That's what I was doing. And then as it starts to move higher, guess what I'm doing? I'm closing out my positions, right? I'm going against most people's human nature. And I think there's a reason. I think a lot of people look at that and say, well, last time we held that support. So, you know, I'm going to start buying it up here. And then I'm going to put my stop. Well, that's definitely a very, very important support. Obviously, that's a level it needs to hold. That's a level it must hold. So I'm going to place my stop just right there. And the market knows it. There's no secret in the market. Market can see everything, right? And then it comes down, takes your stop here, right? So I don't think that XLF is going to come straight down and crashing. If anything, we got that support right there. I mean, you can do probably your Fibonacci here to here somewhere or something like that. That could be some of these levels to look at. I mean, if this thing comes on anywhere 25, I mean, that's a great level. That's great level. Might even add more there. But I think we may do something like that especially in a bull market like this, you're gonna see what's gonna happen is, this is something that I talked a lot about, is every one of us has a patience breaking point, what I call PBP, patience breaking point, and market knows how to push that. And when the majority of traders and participants, investors, I'm talking 90% of, and when their patience breaking point crack, that's usually the bottom. So that means your patience breaking point has to be much further higher than everybody else, above 90%. And you have to work on that skill. It's not just about charts. It's not just about, you understanding levels or Fibonacci or even fundamental values. Not only that, market knows how to push you to the edge. You guys know exactly what I'm talking about, and you will get sidelined. You will get you'll get pushed away because you possibly cannot hold anymore. It is too painful, and then you close it out. And you're not the only one. A lot of people are thinking the same thing. That's when the market tends to bottom. When we saw that what happened on AMD, we saw what happened on Intel, we saw what happened on Twitter, and then when everybody start to panic or fearful, that's when the market reverses and it just goes. Real quick here, let's look at AMD. Yeah, that's all. These are from long. I don't know how to get rid of all the drawing tools. Yeah, so that's AMD. 20 EMS in that vicinity. So we got a couple levels here. You know what level I think is a good level to maybe buy would be around 13. I think 1350. I think I'm kind of looking at certain this level, like 1290, 1360-ish. I think I'm not sure at this point, we may or may not. I think this level is a good level to buy the dip, add more. Doesn't mean that we have to bounce it. We may bounce a little bit lower. It might bounce, you know what I mean? But I'm saying that's the level that I'm comfortable with, even if it could come lower. Some of those levels I think I'm kind of watching there. Quickly, Twitter looked like a bull flag, but I don't ever trust bull flags, these short-term bull flags, because I'm not a short-term trader. That's what you're gonna see. You're gonna see all these gurus on Twitter. Oh, look at this bull flag. You know what these people are? See, these people never just follow these people. Follow this on Twitter and stock tweets. They always give you these chart like this. Oh, look at that. They'll never, ever able to participate in a big move. Never. They can never do this. But they will come. They'll come and they'll miss out all this move, and then they'll try to make a little blip on this breakout, and they look at that and say, aha, that's a bull flag. Yeah. And then let's say if this thing breaks out just a couple days. Yup, my members, man. Yeah, it was our watch list and we're banking on it. Right? That's what they do. But they would always miss out on this big move. They'll miss out on the biggest move, and same thing happens. You know how these bears, like these bears who missed out on the majority of move on the spider. Like if I go back to spider here, like the big people who missed out on this biggest move are the always ones that trying to, you know what I mean, trying to short it or trying to say that, oh, the market, is losing steam, the crash is happening. The people always bearish on the market are always even if they're asking questions like, well, you don't want to see this happening. Even people they may not flat out say that it's going to crash, but they're asking potential questions. Even that means they're fearful. It's because they missed out on a move. And when people miss out on a move, they feel bad. They feel bad, so they want to short it. And they wish that people who did get into it and made a money, they wish that these people will get burned. This is human nature. They don't want to see other people succeed. These are the reasons why all these people, they'll always miss out on a big move, but they're somehow trying to make a little tiny move on a pullback or like some stupid like bull flag like this, and they trying to be like, yeah, you know what, I'm gonna go long right there, I'm gonna put my stop right here, and then it's gonna go up, and then I'm gonna make $2 there, and then like, you know what I mean, and they think that they made a huge gain. These people do not know how to trade. I'm just flat out telling you, these people do not know how to trade, right? And they'll be so scared to call anything publicly. And if you know me, if you've been following me on Twitter, again, I'm not trying to, you know, be arrogant or pontificate for the sense of being arrogant, but you know what I mean? Like, you gotta be bold. The reason why I call things publicly is not trying to like show off, but when you come into this market, you can't be a little boy. You can't be a little girl. You can't be a little sissy. Like, you can't be scared. So what? Maybe I'll be wrong. Maybe I'll call it wrong. Maybe maybe I'll lose on my diamond trades. But I don't care. You know what I mean? But people who just, these people are so fake. Just like people on like Facebook and Instagram, right? They act like their life is so great. But if you really get to know them, their life, they're really depressed. But on Twitter or Instagram or Facebook, they'll give you that 1 second that they're, you know what I mean? Like when you look at Facebook and like Instagram, they'll give you that one moment, the best moment of their week. 1 second, and they'll snap it and they'll post it and then make them feel like they're having the best life ever, but they're freaking miserable. Same thing happens on Twitter and stock twits. They'll snap one trade. It was the best trade ever in their whole life. And then they'll make sure you'll hear about it. But then they'll never call things, you know, beforehand, right? So anyway, Twitter, yes, bull flag. But like I said, I'm trusted. 50-50. Go up, go lower. I don't care. I really don't. I don't care about minor term. You know what I mean? Only like bozos, like they're so concerned about. I don't care. I mean, you want to do this, go ahead and do it. Maybe go long here and place your stop right there. And that, if that's your strategy and that's how you're going to do it, you're not going to make money. I'm telling you right now, you're not going to make money doing that. You may get lucky here and there, but you're not going to consistently able to accumulate wealth. What else you guys want to look at? Intel, right? Intel breaking below it here. Talked about this shenanigan, right? Finally, this is what happens, guys. This is what happens, right? Smart money already got into it before the move. You got the institutions pushing it up, and then we got the public participation. Every time when the public gets in, things get ugly. Do you know why? Do you know why things get ugly when the public gets in? Think about it. Every time Black Friday sale, right? Every time there's a huge sale, people wait outside. They jump over each other. They'll fight each other just so they can save 20 bucks. I mean, people will kill each other for $100. That's what retail traders really represent. These people are broke. These people are uneducated. These people are illiterate financially. They're desperate. Right? They're desperate. So they're trying to chase it so they can grab anything. And things get ugly. You know what happens sooner or later? Market punishes them hard. And you know, like I said, I'm not trying to make fun of these people because I was one of those people back in the day. But man, I wish that the market is a place where we can all come in together and we can all make money. But that's not the case. I mean, the life isn't like that. There are people struggling. People are struggling out there, because they're financially illiterate and they're desperate. They'll fight with somebody just so they can save 20 bucks on a TV. They'll line up for some stupid iPhone 10. They'll line up outside. I mean, they're broke. I mean, they're broke, but they gotta get it. They have to get iPhone 10, man. I'll spend $1,000. I mean, they're broke as hell, but they gotta wait outside and gotta get that phone. Do you know why? Because they want to be cool. They want to follow the trend. They always come in late. They don't have any money. They come in late, and things gets tough. Because when you're broke, man, save, invest that money. Don't go out and buy iPhone 10, spend $1,000. Invest. Go out there and get some old flip phone for $150 and save that money, right? Save that money, invest it. And when you have money, that's when you buy. That's the thing about poverty mentality people. Poverty mentality people always want to look like they're rich by buying expensive, exotic things when they cannot afford it. That's the reason why they're always poor. The rich, the real rich, they save and they invest that money. They say, you know what? I'm going to invest this money, and then later, when this means nothing to me, that's when I'm going to buy luxury. See, that's a smart guy. That's a wealthy person, at least on the way to become rich. Same thing I can see in the market, man. Same thing happen in the market. the rich, they take the risk. When nobody's talking about it, they slowly, silently buy it, right? And then when it goes up, they start to close out their positions. The retails, however, always comes in late and just mess everything up. And that's what happened. That's right there. That's representations of what I've just talked about here, right? So yeah, I mean, some of these levels, I think this level is good to, you know, even accumulate certain shares. Some of these levels, the worst case here, maybe 42-ish, but I don't see the worst case scenario, maybe 43, the worst case scenario, but a lot of these levels kind of probably, you know what I mean? And when you're like actively investing, you don't care about precisely going long. Only poverty mentality people want to go right at the bottom. That is a very, very low price. Did I go right at the, do you guys know when I started accumulating shares and calls on Intel? It was right here, 35. And what happened? It plunged a little bit lower. I didn't get right at the bottom. I've done that before, but I can't not do that all the time. Market is too savvy. Have you seen my diamond calls journal? Every time I go long, that thing seems to not stick. That thing seems to not stick, but it's okay. My job is not to get a perfect entry. My job is to position myself as a position trader and wait for that run. And then I close out my positions as soon as the retail starts to get in, because that's when things get ugly. What do? We got Twitter, we got AMD, Intel. I think that's it. All right. What else you guys want to look at? Snap. Yeah, I mean, that looks like that might have been the trap here, right? Shenanigan. And then we fill that gap. Every time gap gets filled, what happens? It pulls back a little bit. If we can hold that and get up, I think it's going to do well here. You guys remember the examples that I've given you, what happened on Twitter, right? There's a big gap down, and then, you know, 5 months later, it gets right back up. So I'm actually holding everything still. I got some shares I got long there, and then I also bought some around here. I'm holding everything at this point. I think that's it for me. I mean, I already went kind of long here, 37 minutes, but again, there won't be the market update video next week. We'll skip next week. It's July 4th. Hope you guys have a good week with your friends and family. And we'll resume on the 13th of July. So next week, no video. July 3rd, Tuesday is half day. And then as far as the market is concerned, and then Wednesday, obviously, July 4th, market is closed. So, well, you guys have a wonderful weekend. And you have a wonderful next holiday week. And good luck trading next week.